Hi YouTube world, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. I am Adrienne, I live in New York City. I love playing with makeup and this is my Shop My Stash series called My Week in Makeup. It's week 16 of diligently going through my makeup. Also, not just going through old products and rediscovering what I have, but if I get new products in during the week because I shopped a sale, I try to start testing them immediately so that I don't kind of have a backlog of things. So this week, that is a lot of what happened. I got a part of my Sephora sale order, and so some of those products are integrated here, and I have formed pretty good opinions about it. And I also tested some oldies, goodies, not so goodies, changed opinions on, all that good stuff. So if that interests you, stay tuned. First, apologies for the lighting. I am filming at a time of day I normally don't do. It's still pretty bright outside and I don't have the best lighting in my apartment. That's a New York City reality. So, yeah, apologies. So I'm going to try to get closer so you could really see everything. I mean, my skin's not looking that great. It's like very blotchy and splotchy. So we're going to do kind of a chatty get ready with me. I hope that's okay. I just cleaned my skin, so it has nothing on it. And that is because I'm going to be using this wonderful little thing. This is the Supergoop Daily Dose, the one that has Bioretinol SPF 40. This I picked up at the sale. I have been loving it since I picked it up. I loved it so much that I actually already bought a second bottle because it is on the pricier side. But I love the idea of having really good skincare and sunscreen combined, like as a base. And this has Bakuchiol, which for me is a really lovely product. I think it provides such a pretty healthy glow. I also find it to be pretty nourishing. So I'm going to put a little bit more on just around my jawline. And I just love the way it feels and applies. My skin just drinks it up. It has like no funny smell whatsoever. I just really like the idea of the alternative retinol and using it more consistently, especially like integrating it with my sunscreen. So that's why I chose this one. Next thing up, I'm just gonna put a little bit of concealer, still using my NARS Soft Matte in Madeline, just covering up any spots I didn't like or just darkness in general. And this is actually my melasma, so this is not the best concealer for that. But I was actually at a conference for the majority of the week. So these were very long days, unpredictable days. I was meeting a lot of people. I just wanted my skin to look really fresh and I wanted it to wear all day. So I went ahead and I used this Supergoop, and then I actually tapped into my Laura Geller Baked Balance-n-Brighten in Fair. I really adore this powder and I love that with all that glow, I would just layer this above. And I'm just using a not too dense brush. It has some give. So there you have it. I just find like it balanced me out just enough, but it doesn't look like I'm wearing a lot of makeup. It doesn't look heavy. And yeah, I just really enjoyed the way it wore. So this was sort of my favorite kind of combination this week. Now I did try some other products or retry some other products that I didn't quite love. The main one was the IT Cosmetics Original CC Cream. So I mix typically the shade light as well as fair, and I just really didn't like this. I used to really love this a long time ago, and I just think my skin needs have changed. I much prefer the Nude Glow formula of IT Cosmetics. I love that one. This one just feels so heavy. Like it's very hard to manage. It doesn't look particularly flattering on the skin. It just really is not a formula for me any longer. So That makes me a little sad, but I'm glad I just have like a travel and a mini of it. And I'm glad I retested it because I really do love that nude glow. I tested that a few weeks ago. I picked up a different shade too, so I have a lighter shade and a deeper shade. And yeah, that formula is fantastic for the way my skin is now. This one, not so much. Another complexion product I tried to reintegrate was my BareMinerals BarePro concealer in the shade Light Neutral. This one here, I love the idea of this because I love the applicator. Color is fine. I just really don't love the formula on my skin. I just find that it moves, and when I'm comparing it to the soft matte concealer by NARS, I much prefer this one. So I'm just going to declutter this one. This one's also very old, so I'm wondering if it just sort of changed in its formula. Well, I guess first let's talk about blush bronzer. I actually was playing around with the Jones Road bronzer in the shade Dusty Rose, and I just want to show how this one goes on. This is like a bronzer for a very fair skin tone. I think the formula is really pretty, and I do think it is a nice bronzing color for those with super fair skin. My skin's a little bit deeper, so for me, this feels like much more of a blush. So I'm going to apply it as a bronzer slash blush right now. Really do love the formula. I just think it's really easy to work with. Bobbi Brown, even when she was at Bobbi Brown Cosmetics, she always kind of did this. Thought of creative ways to change the tones of bronzers. So it's no surprise there's a pinky bronzer here. In the Bobbi Brown line, there are bronzers. This is the Illuminating Bronzing Powder in Antigua. And you'll see this is pink. You know, it's pink. She has been working on the concept of bronzing in different tones for some time, even when she was at her previous cosmetics company. So now with Jones Road, it does not surprise me that this exists, but this is definitely dustier than that Antigua color, and it is very pretty. So I do like it. I do like this formula. During this week, I also stumbled into a Nordstrom's, as I do, actually to test out the new Jo Malone fragrances, which I picked one up. And I saw that at the MAC counter there, they had the new Skinfinish bronzers. I thought I was gonna pick up a matte one, but as I swatched them in store and kind of worked with the expert there, it was surprising what color I ended up picking. I actually ended up picking Radiant Medium Golden. So very surprising, looks super deep, but the finish is so pretty. Even though it says it's radiant, it's not glimmery or anything. And this packaging, by the way, is gorgeous. It's a very bronzy, textured, but kind of soft texture. I just want to show you how nice this is. So I am layering this up, and it does give a bit of a glow, but nothing too outrageous. So there, I just put it on. You could see it has like just a healthy glow to it, but it isn't really heavy. Let me see if I can swatch it for you. So that's the color there. So you see it has this sheen, but it isn't glittery. It isn't glittery at all. And I was just very surprised that I was going to pick this up over the matte bronzer, but when I swatched the two of them, I just liked the way this finish was. I also thought I was going to pick up the rosy undertone and was surprised that I went with the golden. And I don't feel it's too orangey, but I do think it's really pretty. Going back to the blush department, I retried a few other blushes on different days during the week. I think surprisingly, I tried the Halo, Smashbox Halo Sheer to Stay Color Tint. I have two shades. I have the shade Blush and Sunset. Now these are very pretty. They're supposed to be cheek and lip. And I just think that they really disrupt anything that's happening underneath. And the truth of the matter is, if they're disrupting my foundation or my skin tint, they're probably disrupting my skincare underneath. And when I'm investing in something like this, Now I'm becoming kind of a little more aware that I don't want that to happen. So unfortunately, I'm gonna declutter these. I really liked the Believing shade in Essence. I'm trying to just kind of reincorporate these. These are fantastic normal blushes that are super affordable. They're just wonderful. And the Believing shade is this mauvey pink and very similar to that Antigua shade actually that I showed earlier. But it's just such a really pretty color. It stays on and I really liked it. So when I wanted to wear a color like this, I pulled this out and I was happy. I also pulled out the e.l.f. Monochromatic Multi-Sticks. I have the shades Sparkling and Bronze Cherry, these two. These are actually really pretty and I did not notice that they disrupted my makeup underneath. So they were keepers. They kind of went head to head with the Smashbox ones. So that's why I wanted to kind of call them out. I'm just swatching them for you. So this is Sparkling and this is Bronze Cherry. Both are very pretty. Both you can put on your lips as well. I would not recommend them on the eyes. They're just perfect packaging. So really happy to have these. Gonna be playing around with these even more. The blush that went out this week was another shade of the Haus Labs Color Fuse blush. This is in the shade Dragon Fruit Daze. It's this shade here. Oh my gosh. I picked this one up and last night actually Watermelon Bliss came. So yeah, that's this one here. I really love these blushes. The first one I had ever picked up was Acai Sky. This one here, it's a deep berry. Even though it's very deep, you can be light-handed and it's such a gorgeous berry tone. So I love that so much. I love the formula so much of it that I picked up 2 more shades at the Sephora sale. So let's just do Dragon Fruit Daze because this is the one I wore. And if you're a fan of the Dior famous, you know, pink blush, you're gonna love this. I like this better than the Dior because I find it gives me more pigment immediately. So that is the shade with just one dip. So I just press in and I press it into my skin. It also has just such a lovely finish. It's not a flat matte. You can see that even as I put on the blush, there is just glow coming from underneath. And so that's what I love about it. It's not a formula that just sits on the skin. It really melds with the skin and it feels beautiful. It lasts all day long. And it's not like clownish. Although if you wanted to pick up a little more and put a little more pop of that pink on the apple of the cheek, you can do that too. One other product, and actually I forgot to mention this the week before, but this is from Revolution. It's the Eye Bright, and I have mine in the shade Light. It's this kind of poofy thing. I have been using this on days where I feel like my under eyes are just a little gray or hollowy and I just want some brightness. So even if I'm using like a powder foundation, like the one that I used today, this still works really well. So I just let it sit for a little bit and then I just blend it out with a brush. And I love that it brightens without it being too much, like too heavy. And it also adds some moisture to my under eye. And I hope you can see it, like it blends really nicely and it doesn't look like it's sitting on my skin. So I do think it's a really excellent product. I will just say that I bought this once before and I could tell in the window that the product was totally split, like the oil had split. There's no way to mix it because it's too thick of a formula. So I actually had to return it and repurchase it. So just be on the lookout. I think sometimes if they've maybe in the stock room, it's been too hot, or during shipping, it's gotten too hot, that can happen. So I think keep this in a cool place to make sure it doesn't split. But I think it's a great value and I just wanted to make mention of it because I'm not that familiar with Makeup Revolution products, but This one's really nice. So I use the Brow Down to Me by Joa Cosmetics in the shade Black Brown. Although I like this product and I've used quite a bit of it up, I just realized I really don't like this shade. It's not a flattering shade on me. It's too dark and cool tone for me, and it can go overboard really quickly. But I think that's more my fault on purchasing this, and I've changed my hair color a bit. I've put more ashy kind of bits in it, so it just looks very stark. I also don't like that the pencil is on the drier side, and it's, you know, it easily comes out, it falls out all the time. So I'm just going to declutter it. This is not my favorite. I much more prefer the Profusion one that I have been using in Soft Black, the Good Brow Day. I feel like this is a better price point and it's been a better pencil to me. I actually went back to using a brow powder this week. I've been going back and dipping into my KVD Brow Struck powders. These are fantastic. I'm hoping that they re-release them. This is in light brown. It's just a phenomenal brow product because it has these little micro shimmers that add just dimension to the brow. It's the easiest brow that I can put on my face, and I try to avoid it because it doesn't exist. And I'm really hoping that KVD re-releases this because it's an excellent product and others should be able to purchase this, because I mean, look at that. I did my brows in no time. And they look full and just so easy. So I have been making a dent in this. I have light brown, I have medium brown. I love them both. I also have been dipping into my 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. This is a travel size that I have, like a mini size, and it's almost done, but I forgot how good this is. I also love the applicator. It's a very kind of wet formula, but it's not gummy, and it gives you a chance to sort of laminate your brows a bit because the paddle is flat on one end and has these little soft brush tips, and as it starts to dry, it really does start to set, but it's not crispy, and it's really good and lasts all day long. And I find that it really does transform the eyebrows, and I love this. I love it so much. I actually picked up a full-size one at the Sephora sale as like a second order because I was like, wait a second, I really love this product. I do not like the potted eyebrow products, that I find them to be too gluey and too messy. This one's perfect. It's perfect. It's a perfect delivery mechanism for me. So really loving that. For my makeup this week, my eye makeup, I did play around with predominantly 2 products, but let me go ahead and start with my eye base. This is, of course, my tried and true Smashbox Intensify Photo Finish 24-hour shadow primer. I put some on my fingers and I just sort of warm it up, and it just applies like a dream. Like you're putting on really wonderful balm on the skin, and I take it all the way up and a little bit around, and it starts off like a cream and then it starts to get tacky, which is exactly what you want. But I really love this, and I have very oily eyelids. I tried this week the 8-second shadow from, I think this is called the 8-second shadow from Kosas in the shade Heat. I really loved the shade. I liked how it went on. Unfortunately, it creased on me. Even if I used eyeshadow primer, it creased. It's such a pretty wash of like neutral kind of rose gold. Really lovely. Love the shade. I thought it was like very appropriate for when I was wearing a bold lip, but no, the fact that it creases, it's just not for me. Eyeshadow palette though, I played around with a lot this week is this one here by J-Cat. This is their Chaotic Element 21 color palette Jungle Roar, and I was so intrigued by this color story. I just thought it was so beautiful, crazy beautiful, that I had to have it. And I've had a lot of luck in the past with JCat eyeshadows. I really love the Dia and Noche palettes, and I have one of them and I just really like the formula. So I thought, well, if they didn't change the formula, this is a really fun palette. And I'm going to insert looks on the top left that I did. I'm going to try to do a look today. Oh, I've been wanting to use this. What is this called? I think it's called Pride Land. I've been wanting to use this color. So I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to start with the shimmer, which is not something I've normally done. These shimmers are very, very chunky. They almost feel like they have oil in them. And I do suggest applying them with your finger and just taking your time and really working them into the skin. And then you get a really nice finish. But what's really beautiful about them is they transfer completely on to the eye. They kind of remind me of the Flower Beauty. I hope you can see like the entire color came off of my finger. So it has really good adherence, which I really love, but I do caution you to just work out those creamy flakes so they just meld with the skin. If you pack it on and you kind of leave those creamy flakes without integrating them, they're gonna flake off and it's going to leave a lot of fallout. But I mean, I've been wanting to use the sage color. I just think it's so pretty. It's like a sage that has a little bit of yellow, a little bit of gold, really nice. I'm someone who loves playing with eyeshadow, loves playing with color, but I don't believe in using more than like 3 shades. Okay, maybe 4 tops. I don't subscribe to the more is more category. I think less is more for me. There is that sage color. Now I'm gonna move on to a brush. The mattes generally, though they look super pigmented, they're actually a little bit lighter. They're not as strongly pigmented. So I do wanna mention that because some people might get used to a very, very pigmented formula. This one, you can build it up, but you can also make it pretty soft. So I started off with this shade, which is very vibrant. This is the shade Snake Pit. And you can see I was able to soften it to really work with that sage color. And actually, I feel like this is gonna be a 2 shadow look. I did have fun playing around with this palette this week. I just thought it was a really inspired color story. I think they have 2 other colorways in this line, but this one's the one that attracted me. The blue one looks very pretty too, but I'm trying not to just bring new palettes in. I'm trying to get through the palettes that I have. I just couldn't pass this one up. So yeah, I got a lot of compliments on the eye looks I did. I felt really confident. I loved an orangey one I did. Really, try JCat. It's like a brand I never hear people talking about, and I do think their formula is nice. It's really nice for drugstore price and for the quantity you get. I feel like with a good set of brushes, because I do think that if you have good brushes, they can elevate the quality of a palette. Mascara I'm still using is Lights Camera Lashes by Tarte. There you have it. I just really have been loving rediscovering this mascara. I opened up a new one and I'm really enjoying it. The lip product I wanted to talk about today, I actually did pick up a new Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the sale. I picked up Wherever Walnut. So let's go ahead and put that on. And I really like it. It has like a little bit of rosiness to it. But the lip product I wanted to talk about was this one here. This surprised me. This is the Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Color from Makeup by Mario. I picked mine up in the shade Hot Pink. Now, I had no interest in this product whatsoever. But before I made my purchase at Sephora for my sale, like the day or 2 before the sale opened, I actually went in store, and this is what I typically do. I kind of re-swatch everything. I look around. I really kind of try to refine my list, and that's what I did here. But as we were walking by this product, decided to swatch some of them, and I was very surprised by this color. It was this beautiful sheer wash of baby doll pink. I don't have a color like it. And I know that this product has gotten mixed reviews. I think I know why. But on this shade in particular, I can tell you it's stunning. And it's a little bit of a small product for what it is. And when you initially put it on, it looks insane. But don't get scared, it's not insane. There is that hot pink color. What I loved about it in store was I realized that the majority of the shades that were released in this line were very opaque and looked as though it would just like look like it was sitting on your lips. Like it wouldn't look like it was meshing with your lips. But when I swatched this color, I was very surprised to see how sheer it was. And I just thought it would bring such a juicy, plumpy type of baby doll look to the lips. And I feel like it did that. And so I really recommend this shade. I actually then went online and I started to read all the descriptions of the colors. And I realized that this one is labeled sheer, which a lot of the other colors are labeled opaque. There's one other color that's labeled sheer. I think it's like a coral. I actually ordered that one because I love the way this looks. I mean, I just think that looks beautiful. Really easy to wear. I didn't love the Moisture Glow sticks that he came out. I thought that the plumping formula there, it kind of caused some irritation on me. This one though is very subtle. It's very subtle. I would almost say that the plumping really comes from this really beautiful gel oil hybrid gloss formula. And I just think it's gorgeous. I think it's gorgeous. And I'm not like a blanket Makeup by Mario fan. Have I liked anything? Oh, I did like the skin enhancer. Besides that, I haven't really tried much from the brand, so I don't know. I'm just not like a blind fan of, but yeah, this is really, really pretty. There are some other lip products. There's one lip product I want to talk about, but I'm going to do a dedicated video on that one. That's on these Sephora Sheer Matte Lip Balms. I actually have every single shade. I'm going to do a full swatch and talk about the formula. There's another product too that I don't have with me. I have no idea where it went, but I will do a separate video on that one too. A quick lip video and comparison. That is on the Merit Jelly Lip Oil that just came out. I have thoughts on that one too. So those are two that I'm going to defer for shorter, quicker videos sometime during this week. Other than that, I think that's it. Oh yeah, I did keep using my Urban Decay All-Nighter as well as my Shape Tape Stay Spray. I did half and half, and darn it, the Urban Decay does help a little bit for the makeup to hold. The Shape Tape Spray is nice, but I don't think it adds that much to the longevity. There was a distinct difference though when I used this one. I still like the experience of this one better, so I don't know. Let me know what you picked up at the Sephora sale. I think I am going to do like a roundup of everything I picked up eventually, but I have like some straggling packages because I did pick up a few different orders. I hope everyone has a great start to the week and we'll talk soon. Okay, take care everyone. Bye.